Padma Rukmini and Radha Sundari, they're so kind to their partners that if their partner ever forgets what a great person they are, they'll quickly remind you. I mean, that's just being nice, right?
Yeah.
And she's nice a lot. It's all about love, for the living entity. Not just for you in this particular time. It's all about love for all of us, the living entities. When you take away, it's just like any picture. If you were God, what would you do? Tomorrow, you get to write your calendar. You get to decide exactly what you're going to do, what time, and everything. What would you do? And you don't have anything that you have to do. What would you do? You'd be in love.
Yeah.
Huh? And I'm not talking, I'm talking burning love. That's what we all want, because that's the nature of the living entity. We want to taste love, really pure love. Everything else we do is working towards those moments of feeling love. And I know many of us, probably all of us, have had love from time to time, and it just like slips through our fingers. You ever had that happen to you? I mean, anybody ever have that happen? Yeah, we've all been there and done that. So, but that's not the kind of love we want, is it? Really wonderful, smoking love today, and then all gone. You ever meet somebody and you see them, they're without their partner, and you say, "Oh, where's that wonderful partner of yours?" That creepy idiot. I thought you guys were, I didn't know what a jerk they were.
So embarrassing when you see people do that to their partner.
Yeah. How's our Vanessa?
Well, it's feeling a little.
Boy, everybody is. I've been like that for so long. I guess it's going to be like this, all the way to India. When I get there and people complain about the Indian. Somebody was saying about that last night. They burn a lot of stuff in India. Is that really bad?
Garbage?
No, we burn a lot of stuff there too. We just don't live here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even if you do, unless you're burning things that give off toxic fumes, I mean, it's kind of a natural way of life. I mean, I think of a real, natural way of life. Roll it back 500 years ago to the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was here. What was life like? You think it was, if you read history books of that time, what did people complain about? They didn't.
That's a really good question.
They didn't.
You didn't hear about complaints back then, and when you did, you'd be like, "Hey, suck it up."
One thing about India is it works. We can't understand how it works. When we're driving in the car, the way they drive in India. How many people here have ridden in cars in India? It's pretty far. Yeah, it's,
Like Krishna.
but it works. I mean, we can criticize it all we want, but it works.
I wonder what their accident rate is. Imagine it's lower than
It's
ours.
nothing near as bad as ours,
They don't have drunk drivers.
And they don't have nobody. They don't. Well, they do, but they're very rare. But they do. They don't have police. We don't see speed police that are, like a speed trap or anything. You don't have anything on the highway. People trying to, maybe on the, I think on that, is it the Jamuna highway from Vrindavan, that newer highway? Is that it? It's the Jamuna, isn't it?
Express.
Huh? Jamuna Express, yeah. I've seen a policeman or two on that, in Delhi. Other than that, you see them on the street corners and they're directing traffic, and you see them in car, but they're not out patrolling. So, mostly people behave. I mean, they're misbehaving according to our way, but as far as the Indian way, they're not misbehaving. Somebody cut you off. They pull right out in front of me. Deal with it. What are you going to do? Shoot him? I mean, this is America. We shoot people. You mess with me, buddy. Pow. They don't do that in India. They're not like that. Wow, this is a lifesaver. This tea, because it warms me up from the inside. I've had problems lately with my health. All right, enough about me and you and your partner. Them,
We're so cute.
Yeah, they are. You are so cute. Speaking of cute, that was a really wonderful kirtan. Let's give it a big round. I've known you since you were just a little kid, tiny little thing, and I feel so bad because I've always criticized you, and so now I see you actually have some good qualities. Who'd have thunk it? When we saw that little girl, years ago, who'd have thunk? Here she'd be one of the leaders. You might be the next temple president. You might be the next leader of this community. Maybe I should start being nice to you.
Gotta start something.
All right, we're going to talk about a couple of things, but I couldn't. It's funny how I can never remember what the title is going to be. The title is Overcoming Self-Misidentification. Is there such a word? Misidentification?
I think it sounds
It's, if it ain't, it is now. I mean, I'm a disciple of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Where's this? Oh, there he is. And, Srila Prabhupada, when he needed a word to work, he would make one up sometimes. He would just make it. You should, for your life to be happy, you should Krishnaize it. Well, there's no such word as that. But we knew right away. He would invent the word. So, and it works. So we have misidentified ourself. This is going to be fun. Let me know if there's anybody that's not having fun, okay? We'll deal with them later. Fun is mandatory. So, before I get started, has anyone ever heard of the Stockholm Syndrome? Yeah, we know what that is. I remember back in around 1970, late 60s or something like that, back in the heat of the hippie days, there was a young lady, I knew her name and now it just slipped out. Patty Hearst, yeah. I was going to ask Tamal Hari because he's an older guy. Patty Hearst. She was kidnapped by, I forget the name of that crazy group. Right. How do you know all this? This was 30 years before you were born.
That's right at Bali's.
Yeah. In his his previous life, he was one of the Symbionese Liberation Army. So anyway, she was kidnapped, and these guys were radical Looney Tunes. Aren't you glad we don't have any radical Looney Tunes anymore? Guys ran around with machine guns and holding up banks, and there was Patty Hearst, and she was the daughter of Randolph Hearst, I believe, who owned most of the newspapers in America. A billionaire. So she was a very wealthy girl, but somehow they're, she's partying with these people, and they said, hey, we're cool. We think America's bad. We want to take it over. We're ready to kill a whole bunch of people. First we need money. We're going to rob banks. So they talked her into it, and she went with them. There's films of her, this classy girl, and she's in there with a machine gun in the bank while they're robbing the bank again and again and again. So then, now I don't know, her father could afford good attorneys, but I'm sure it was based on maybe she had this or not. I don't know. But this is when I first heard of the Stockholm syndrome, meaning that if you're captured, you're being held prisoner by someone, you start to identify with them. Let me read the Stockholm syndrome is a psychological response to being held captive. People with Stockholm syndrome form a psychological connection with their captors and begin sympathizing with them. If I've got you locked up, I've got you as my prisoner, and I barely give you anything to eat, barely give you any comfortable place to sleep. And then I start giving you more and more and better food. As time goes by, we start to connect because I'm all you have, all your food, everything is coming from me. And you soften up and you might listen to my political beliefs. So, gee whiz, I'm glad that's not still going on in the world.
Sorry, it totally is. Sorry.
Totally. So, in addition to the original kidnapper hostage situation, Stockholm syndrome now includes other types of trauma in which there's a bond between the abuser and the person being abused. It's not uncommon. This is a real thing. So many medical professionals consider the victim's positive feelings towards their abuser as a psychological response, a coping mechanism that they use to survive the days, weeks, or even years of trauma or abuse. So I say that we're all in that situation. We're all fed so much misinformation. There's not a whole lot of information in the material world that's not misinformation. It's not wrong. Now, to some degree, it may be. Krishna, right? There may be some truth to it, but to a large degree, a lot of what we hear, most of what we hear is tainted in one way or another because I want to sell you something, so I'll tell you that it's better than it really is. It's like Srila Prabhupada said that the Vaishya, those who are merchants, they're known to wear a mustache. This is in India, many years ago. Of course, they still wear mustaches in India.
And they don't have one, they wear one.
Huh?
They don't grow one.
No, they can sell them. You can, 10 rupees, you can. And he says the Vaishya wears his mustache to hide his smirk when he tells you, for you, I'm making no profit. He's got the, So they have, the merchants have a license to lie, tell you that the product is maybe a little better than it is, or a better deal than you may think it is, And so, now it's even turned up, in our day, you're not as old as I am, but you're older than everybody else here, I think. That puts you in the league. You've listened to the news. There was a time when the news was actually on television. I guess people get news on phone. Where do you get news?
News and radio.
Huh?
News and radio.
News and radio. Yeah. Well, you used to have these guys like Walter Cronkite and some of those other guys, and what they said was right on. Nobody doubted what they said. If they had spun it, well, it cost them their career. These are household names that we all grew up with. They wouldn't. So now, and if they did spin it, it was a teeny bit. So now everything is spun. People tell you, and it's okay. Somehow or other, we accept it. Oh, So you're lying? Oh, 80% of what you said is a lie? Oh, that's okay. You know, it's become the norm. We're starting to identify with these people that mislead us into doing this or doing that. We're starting to identify. Maybe they're not so bad after all. So, we identify with this material world, and that's what keeps us. That's what keeps us in the material world, birth after birth after birth. Of course, there's birth and death and birth and death and birth and death. But this continually happens, and you stay here because you accept this place as your home. Sure, 80 or 90% of what you say or what the world says is going to be pretty much polluted or not true. But that's the way things are, because it's the Stockholm syndrome. That's all I have. And gee whiz, they are being kind of good to me, So we have to somehow or other help people truly identify with themselves. If you truly identify with yourself and someone is telling you something that's not true, you'll say, "You're right, that's just your opinion, but it's not affecting me." If I know the truth, if you're telling me that 2 + 2 is 6, and she's saying, no, 2 + 2 is 5, and they think, I kind of like her better, so I think I'm going to go with her. But both of you were wrong, you see. Now, if I know that 2 + 2 is 8 on 4, if I know that, and I've counted it, and you say 2 + 2 is 5, I'm going to say, no, I don't think so. So once you know the truth, how do you unknow it? How do you dumb yourself down? Where is the idiot stick that you beat yourself with to become ignorant, lack of knowledge, once you get knowledge?
I would say,
Huh?
I would say a mixed martial arts game.
Yeah, we need
Bring your ego into an octagon, and you're gonna step out with some right
more of those, in the Senate
I
and
agree.
Congress, they only have this
If
cage.
you're
Put
a
them in
leader,
there.
you have to fight. I agree. That should be mandatory.
I think I would like to see Kash Patel and Schumer,
How many more decisions
in
do you think can make?
a cage,
It seems like a lot of people do find that stick though, because even like people who know this stuff, there's always the temptation to use that stick, there. I mean, I know it's going to hurt me, but I'm going to do it anyway.
It's more convenient, really, to be ignorant than it is to be knowledgeable. Because if I'm in a world of lack of knowledge, it's easier for me to fit in if I have lack of knowledge too. You start getting a little bit of knowledge, well, now you're going to have some people that may not like you as much. So a large part of what we see is the sheep reaction, the herd mentality. I want to be like everyone around me. I want to associate with this crowd. I want to identify with this crowd. And I want everyone to identify me as being a part of that crowd. So whatever they say, I'm for, So sounds a little crazy, but that's just the way the world works. Look, I didn't make it this way. I'm trying to escape it. So how do we get out of this? How do we get out of this world of illusion and misidentification? So we're going to turn to Srimad Bhagavatam.
Take the orange pill.
Literally,
What's the orange pill?
It's like a red pill. Like a
Nature pill.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, yeah.
In pill form.
Yeah. But now once you do it, once you take that pill, now you know. Now what do? When you're awakened,
You begin to love everything around you and love yourself so much so that nothing but light shines in your life and around you.
right? And people are going to think you're kind of weird because you're going for the truth.
Crazy.
You don't fall in with you're questioning our thing that we want you to believe.
But then they look over and they're like, why does he keep winning?
Yeah.
What is he doing?
Yeah.
And I'm just over here carefree like, living my life.
And in time, people will people will be influenced by you. Because if you can feel a loving connection with your fellow living entities, well, that sets the stage for a good relationship with anybody. Devotee of Krishna, the ones that I know a lot of them, they can be friends with anybody. It doesn't matter. Even if they don't like you, even if they hate you, you can be friends with them. At least we can be friends from our side. You may not send the friendship back, but that's okay. I'm not attached to that. It's not my job. My job is not to go out and get people to accept me as something special. You know, my job is to get out and give them the truth.
I notice when people experience that from me for the first time in their lives, they begin to have a sense of like, I'm not sure if it's resentment or jealousy or just annoyance with me, but it's like, I've had one person tell me straight up like, oh, you're faking that, you're not being genuine. I'm like, that's funny, but okay. Yeah, whatever you think, brother.
That's a natural reaction because I don't feel it. None of my family I haven't seen many people that I really think feel that way about me and other living entities. So I think you're faking it. That's a limitation that we have in our minds because a lot of folks have the feeling that I'm as good, at least as good as anybody. Well, you know, this is the material world. We're all so different. How am I as good? Well, it's Narahari. Narahari's a you're a school teacher too, aren't you? So how can I be? I'm not as intelligent as you guys. You've forgotten more than I've learned. You know, not that you've forgotten everything that you. But you see what I'm talking about? You got to be able to recognize when someone has something that you don't have and applaud it. That makes them wonderful. That's something you can admire about them. So, but the living entity has a tendency to want to think that, well, you know, I'm as good as anybody else. The devotee thinks that, well, I'm lower than everybody else. Everyone else is better than me. Now, that flies in the face of materialism. Materialism says you got to get out there and fight for, you know, your position. You know, you got to look out for yourself. And the devotee's thinking, I need to look out for everyone else because I'm okay. I'm good. You know, it's like the doctor. The doctor is good. They keep themselves healthy. They know the medicines to take and maybe vaccinations to take and whatever. So they get around a sick person and they're feeling, I'm okay. I can help you. I don't know, doc. I'm really sick. That's all right. We're going to work on it. You know, we're going to help you. So first thing to do is to get yourself well. When you see the truth, not everybody's going to believe you, but in time, you will influence the world. That is a fact. For 53 years, I've been witnessing that in thousands of people. This is the way it works. So, Srimad Bhagavatam. This is third canto, 7th chapter, verses 10 through 12. The living entity is in distress regarding his self-identity. He has no factual background, like a man who dreams that he sees his head cut off. What does that mean? No factual background. How far back can you remember when you were like 3, 4, 22? You didn't, you know, after 20, before 22 is all a blur. You know. Huh? How far can you remember, Divya Shakti? I mean, Divya Singh, I'm thinking of the Divya Shakti that I know. How far back can you remember? Yeah, I can remember maybe 3, 4, you know. I don't know if I remember much before that, if anything.
I have memories that go back to before I was 1, and my mom confirmed it. I described it to her.
Yeah, there's a couple of memories that I had when I was like, I mean, it's just, I can barely remember it. I remember it probably because it's a story that my mother would tell of something really terrible that I did when I was a year old. Maybe think I remember. I don't know.
The trauma's easiest to remember. I remember when I had my first asthma attack as a very small baby.
Trauma.
My mom said I was like 8 months old when I had that, and I remember it because I told her like similar to him. I told her about what I saw, her
But
face,
trauma.
in the bathtub, and then my grandma right next to her on the phone, freaking out. So
Yeah,
yeah.
trauma will etch into your memory, won't it? So, but before that, how do you even know where you were? What were you? Who were you? Now, let's say if I'm an eternal entity, and I think a lot of people will believe that they're eternal 1 minute and then they're not eternal the next. We shift back and forth. Most people believe that this is me. I am my body. I look in the mirror, I'm looking me in the eye. So, but if you believe that the soul, the living entity, is eternal, what about before that? What about before this lifetime? There are some people who can remember past lifetimes. Most people can't. So it's like I don't have any history up until like 3 or something like that. So that's a little unsettling. I'd like to know more. If I'm eternal, I'd like to know more about that. The miseries of the pure soul and the disruption of his self-identification are managed by the external energy of the Lord, which controls those mischievous living entities who want to go against the will of the Lord. We want to go against the will of God. Now, some people may say, "Oh, I don't want to." Well, I hate to argue with you, but yes, you do. That's why you're here. If you didn't want to go against the will of the Lord, this doesn't mean you're terrible. I'm not saying you're rotten or, big time sinner. I'm just saying you're normal. If you're here, why did you leave the personality of Godhead? Why? Because I think I can do it too. I mean, this God thing.
Ego.
Hey, you can do that. So there's many philosophies that will tell you that we're all God. My guru used to say that if you go to India, God is on every street corner. There's almost that, isn't it? Have you heard that? There's so many people in India that want to convince you that you're God or that they're God. And there's some of them that will say, I'm not here to convince you that I'm God. I'm here to convince you that you're God. Whoa, that's really nice to hear. I'm God. Wow, put us all together and we're God. So, got a fragmented God here, and I'm part of him, and you're part of him. So that might make you feel better about yourself. This is extremely common. We talk about this impersonalism a lot because it's the biggest misconception that the living entity ever gets into. That, and I am my body, and I'm part of this world. It's wrong. 2 plus 2 is not 6. It's 4. You are not this body, and you're not God. If you're God, you're not a very good one. You see an old man trying to convince you he's God. You're thinking, well, you can't even escape old age.
Or the bottle is sitting next to you.
Yeah, there's something, something that, how did I get to?
Oh, Arjuna had made you sincere as well.
This was good. Most people wouldn't like this, I think. In the West, they wouldn't like it because it's not sweet. It's ginger juice and lemon juice, little salt, little pepper, little like that.
That sounds amazing.
But it's really good for the body when you're sick, so it might keep me from expiring on you. Yeah.
I was thinking that. after we become devotees, we start to become conscious of how much we try to control things and how much we want a desired outcome. And then, we fight it. We say, "Oh, Krishna, Hare Krishna, do what you will with me." And then when that starts happening, it's always it always takes surrender. Every moment takes more surrender to really what Krishna wants for us, because we make our own plans. That's as simple as that. We have our plans and God has his plans, and seems like most people are in constant disagreement.
I don't want to surrender. That's such a dirty word. I mean, that's what the Japanese did when we dropped 2 atomic bombs on them. They surrendered. People surrender. It's like you're punching them. The guys, you say, "Do you surrender?" "Yeah, I surrender." "Just stop punching me. Stop. Don't send your army in here anymore. I surrender." So it has kind of a negative thing to it, doesn't it? Surrender.
Doesn't every war on this planet just consist of a battle of egos to begin with? When you boil
Oh
it all
yeah,
down
the
to
battle of desires and egos that desire. You got something, I want it.
My name is.
I'm going to send my army in there, and we're going to take. Typically, kings invaded other lands to get. First of all, we wanted your gold and your women. There was a time when women were considered as precious as valuable jewels. Well, that's history. That's just not my opinion. And it's not just in some parts of the world. It was everywhere. When they're invading, you got to hide the ladies. And, and the kids, and your gold and diamonds, but you know what they're coming for. We know what they want. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I was thinking, if you're not God, what are you? What is the Christ? What was Prabhupada?
Well, we are, and we ain't God at the same time. I am simultaneously God and not God. So let me give you, for instance, it's like the sun is 93 million miles away, right? So Vedic astrology agrees with science, 93 million miles away. And yet, it will burn you. It gives you light. It will, burn your skin. So I can put my hand out in the sunlight, and I can feel the warmth coming 93 million miles away. So the sunlight is the sun. But wait, hold on. The sun is 93 million miles away. So the sunlight is, and it ain't the sun at the same time. It is definitely the sun, definitely not the sun, because if the sun were here, it would scorch the whole thing. We'd all be vaporized. So the sunlight is the energy from the sun. The sun is the source of that energy. They're one and the same, and yet there's a really big difference. So the living entity, we are from God. We are his energy. We are him. We're not anything else, because he's the source of everything. Everything emanates from the Supreme. All of these material elements that make all this stuff, this is all God. It can't come from any place else but the Supreme. There is no other source. He is the source of all sources. So I am part of his energy. I'm the same DNA. If you took my DNA, it's like if you take a little piece of gold out of the gold mine, and a big chunk of gold, out of the gold mine, and you analyze them, they're both 24 karat. They're both the same thing. Although one may be as big as a mountain, and the other is maybe just a little tiny piece, they're still 24 karat. So I like to tell people, you should think of yourself as 24 karat. You are part and parcel of the Supreme. You should remember. I remember many years ago, I was going through some heavy times. And, I felt like I wasn't being given a fair shake. And I felt like I would just tell myself, I'm 24 karat. You can't make me feel bad because I'm 24 karat. I'm part and parcel of the Supreme. Not that I'm better than you, but you're not going to make me feel bad. I could learn to feel bad about my behavior. You know, when I get into proper consciousness, you ever done it? You look back and you realize your behavior was bad. But here you are realizing I had bad behavior. I behaved poorly, but that's realization is coming from this guy right here now. I've come to the point to where I could see my faults that I had at that time, you see. It was a fault in consciousness, you see. Not my quality as a living entity. My quality as a living entity is the same quality as the Supreme. Identical. It's just that he's vast. And when he gives forth, can you remember that verse in Ishupanishad? Yeah.
Everything emanates from you.
Yeah.
That everything, the Supreme Lord is completely perfect, and therefore all emanations from him are in themselves completely perfect. Although so many completely perfect emanations come from him, he remains the complete balance.
Exactly. It's like all these emanations, including all of us, came from him, but he didn't deplete any. You see, doesn't take anything out of him. So it's not like he's being drained by giving forth all these living parts and parcels of himself. He's still a complete whole. He's still completely perfect. And so are you. You're completely perfect. Now, you may be naughty. I mean, maybe you have a tendency to cheat. We all do. We should admit it. We all do. We have a tendency. It's like Walmart is trying their best to figure out how to cut down the theft. Because a few years ago, as you know, they opened what do they call it, the self checkout, you know, so you can just go and bleep, run it through, and they don't have to pay anybody to. So they saved a few bucks by not having the lady there or the guy, and you just scan it yourself. But the problem is people would take one item, scan one and not the other, so they're spending billions now trying to figure out how to keep us from stealing from them. It's a major problem. Major. They even were toying with the idea of shutting it all down, but they've come up with different technology to catch you. Why? Because we cheat. We have a tendency to cheat.
It's so bad that when you buy, I was trying to buy some protein powder, and then you have to go, you click the button, they come and they open it, and they get the protein powder, then they walk you to the checkout. And if you say, well, I have other things to buy, they say, well, we'll hold it for you until you're, it just seems like childish.
I think that's just you.
Anybody else ever have that problem?
The Walmart off of Thirst and Fort Lowell is the Walmart I used to work at, stocking overnight. So they have display cases everywhere. Tide
You lock up
pods,
everything.
deodorant.
Why? Because we have a tendency to cheat.
We just hired actual people, and
They
they don't
hired-
have to deal with
They hired
that.
cops. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a police presence in front of a store, for some reason, people don't want to steal. It's kind of crazy.
I went, it used to be, not anymore, but it used to be you could go to Target if you were going to leave the country, international travel. They had all these cool things that international travelers. So it was kind of common, you know, getting ready to go out of the country, go to Target because that section that they have there. So we went, I don't know, somebody was with me. I don't know if it was you guys or, anyway, we went to this Target out there on Oracle. You know, practically there's nothing in there.
Yeah, nothing.
Well, hardly anything. And, you know, I was asked the lady, I said, where is it? They used to have a nice complete department. Well, people come in and they steal. So their Target was going through, I don't know if they fixed it, but they were trying to figure out, we're going to bring armed people in here? What are we going to do? It was like empty.
Like a third world country.
It was worse. You know,
There's
it's like Russia. You know, there's not much on the shelves sometimes in Russia because of, you know,
say a better comparison is Korea.
yeah, whatever, you know. But because of dishonesty, we're getting there. So we have a tendency to cheat and be dishonest. We have a tendency to make mistakes. You ever make a mistake?
Every day.
Every day. You know?
Every day. He reminds me.
I'll bet she reminds you too, doesn't she? Yeah.
Goes both ways.
So we have a tendency to cheat. We have a tendency to make mistakes. We have a tendency to fall under the spell of the illusory energy. We have a tendency to become affected by Maya. I start to think, this is me. I am this when I'm young and healthy. Yeah, this is me. Look how I work out. And then when you get close to 80, you're thinking, this can't be me. Don't let this be me. So there are some advantages to old age. It's easier to understand. This is not me. So we have a tendency to make mistakes. We have a tendency to be dishonest, tendency to cheat. We have a tendency to be tricked by the material energy. Anybody ever been tricked into buying something that later on you thought, yeah, we've all been there. We do that. We come under this influence of the material energy. And we have imperfect senses. You've got 5 senses, and these are the portals that you tucked inside here. Actually, you're living in here, but you're thinking through your mind, and you're thinking, I am my mind because I am my body. This is wrong. So, because of you identifying with your body. I'm a man, I'm an American, I'm a human being, I am a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I'm a this or that. That is the source of all of your suffering. And I mean that. You think you're a Republican or you think you're a Democrat, it's the source of your suffering, part of it. It's not that one side's right and the other side is wrong. No. It's not like that. So, but you are part and parcel of the Supreme. But you've come under the influence of the material energy. Now, what kind of a God would let me come under the influence of the material energy? The one that's letting me have what I'm asking for. I want to leave home. I want to go someplace where I can be all I can be without you, God. I want to go, because how can I be the center of attention if I stay here with you? Why, you're vast, and why everything that comes from you is perfect. I'm perfect too, but I'm a little envious of you getting all the attention. So the difference between us and God, one difference is that when we come in contact with the material energy, we become bewildered by it. We can be tricked. And we've all been there. You know, how many times have you you said, all right, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on you. Know, you're not gonna get that. So we do that. We get tricked. And so Krishna doesn't. The material energy is his energy. And you need it. You need this weakness. Otherwise, you wouldn't be happy if you left him for a heartbeat. You wouldn't. You have to be able to believe the illusion. You have to identify with your captor. Yes, this is a great place. Yes, I can find happiness here. Someday, if I get enough money, I'll get fame. Everybody will know my name. They'll all know my face. I might even tip real big, you know, so I can get some profit. From that, some fame and distinction. I'll be the best in what I do. The best musician, the best writer, the best this or whatever. So I'll have profit, fame, distinction. And when I get that, somebody will adore me. You will adore. You may not now, but someday when I come back with this money, you're going to adore me. You see? So fame, profit, adoration, and distinction are the things that drive us to do something. Well, that sounds a little, to those who have some spiritual understanding, that sounds a little kooky. I mean, we didn't used to know so much about wealthy people, but lately we've seen people like Elon Musk, richest guy in the world. And then there's this other guy that was, for a few days, was richer than him, but now Elon is back. And then there's, what's the guy that, Jeff Bezos?
The richest in the Western world. There are people on this planet who have such a vast amount of wealth that it's not tracked. And no other government has the authority to ask them about their wealth.
They run the government, so nobody knows. I could name one of those people, but I don't want to be unwelcomed in the country that this guy, if you know what I mean. So,
exactly what you mean.
And it's important, not for me not to. So, I mean, is it Bezos? What is it, Bezos or Bezos? Bezos. Okay. What is it that he's the Amazon? Yeah. All right. So he was the richest guy in the world there for a long time until Elon started doing electric cars
and rockets.
Yeah, and all this other stuff that he's done.
Mars.
And then we can see how happy his life was, right? Richest guy in the world, happiest guy in the world, famous. Everybody knew who he was. They knew his name. They'd see, if you saw, everybody knew him. A lot of people adored him. He had dinero. He had money, you see. And he also had the most expensive divorce in the history of this planet. His love life crashed and burned. His money couldn't bail him out. His fame didn't help him. What about Elon? Does he seem like the happiest guy in the world? Would you like to be happier than Elon Musk?
I don't think I've ever seen him smile.
I think he understands that he's here to serve a purpose and a purpose only. He's striving every day to do that.
He's driven to
wake up and work.
Yeah, and I don't want to pick on him because I've heard a lot of the things that he wants to do, and I kind of admire, that he wants to actually do this. And nobody would have been against him if he didn't start liking Trump. He started thinking, well, I think, so all of a sudden, all the good things that we thought you are, now we're take that all back. We don't like you anymore. We're going to burn down your dealerships. But don't tell me that I'm affected by the material energy. I'll burn you down or whatever. So we can see. I mean, where is there the billionaire? It used to be millionaire, now it's billionaire. Where are these guys that bought an island? Elon could have bought a small country. Where you would think if that's the ultimate thing, where are these guys that made the grade and they're out there living off of their fortune, enjoying? It's not happening. Yes.
These guys are not doing it for money. If you really listen to what really motivates them and what gets them up every day, work 100 hours a week, it's really to do something that's driving them from inside. A core, motivation. It's not for these external rewards, And so I think it's misleading to characterize, they're doing it for material resources that'll make them happy. They have
They were.
They have different motivations.
And they still are.
Yeah.
But not to the degree that we might imagine. I mean, they are, they seem to be, those that I've read about, seem to be driven by a mission. They have a mission in life, but they don't want to give up the money.
No, they are.
To get the mission.
If
The money is helping them achieve what they want.
If you look at the richest people in the world, most of them are the ones that are donating the most money. they're donating 50% of their,
Well, and that's another story.
right?
You
So
know,
like, and
It's like, you know, the big bad 1% in America that makes all that money, they pay 65% of all federal income tax. 1 out of 100 people pays 65% of the whole thing. The stingy guys that have that, all the money, and they give 75% of all charity that's given. So I'm not saying just because you're rich, you're a good guy or whatever, but you're not a bad guy just because you're rich.
I think what you're saying is that these guys are doing it for the money so that they could be happy. And I think that premise is incorrect.
Well,
I think these guys are doing it for a different reason, because they're motivated. Everybody has a different reason. Some people actually want to help humanity. You know, want to create EVs away off of, you know, these fossil fuels. Other people want to make things more efficient, you know, give people more resources.
Yeah.
Each one of us. Some people want to play music.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But to characterize, oh, people are rich because, you know, they want to really make money and this is their motivation to be happy.
Well, but
Like that whole formula doesn't really make.
getting back to the subject, it's not that this material world does not have happiness to give you. It just doesn't. It's like if you, I mean, I really like the outdoors. I like America. I'm familiar with many other countries, and I like America a lot. I think I like planet Earth. Earth is a great place, you know? And I think Arizona is a wonderful place. But you take a walk through the Arizona desert, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. But, you know, if you're thinking you're out there in 110 degree or 100 degree weather and snakes and all this other stuff and all the things that can stick in your leg, there's the weirdest cactus here. I mean, you know, don't get me started on it. But, you know, where's the happiness? Well, it's beautiful to see it. Why is it beautiful to look at this beautiful vast desert? It's beautiful because it reminds me of the source of that desert. That's just a taste of the beauty. Mountains are beautiful, the ocean, anything we see something vast like that kind of reminds us of the creator, where it came from. He's vast and he's beautiful. So his creation is also beautiful. But I mean, how do you get happiness? By going out into the desert. Maybe just by seeing, you know, experiencing a little bit.
Loving what you're looking at.
Yeah,
Appreciating it.
but if you just decide I'm going to go stay there, you're going to have to leave after a while. You're going to have to get. So in other words, my point is this material world is not a place that you can expect to be happy. You get a taste here and there, you know, but it's not going to stay with you. You see, we can't identify with this place as our place. This isn't home, you know. This isn't that home that we've always heard of. That home is where the heart is. No, our home is the spiritual world. We have a home. We have a family. We have an eternal family. And that family is unlimited. The problem is when all of us come from our home into this material world, we all start to try to grab a part of a piece of it. I'm a proprietor of this room is mine. You know, I've declared a false proprietorship. Well, I've got the title to my house. It's paid off. It's mine. Well, it's really not. You can't trace it back in history to find out when the owner and the creator actually gave title to the property to anybody. So, I'm a false proprietor. I claim this as mine, and I want some of what you've got. So not because it's right, but because I think I can get it, and it'll make me happier if I have some of your stuff. So therefore, I have a tendency to cheat. So maybe I'll see if I can cheat you out of it. This is going on in the material world. People searching for happiness. How do you become happy? You need to just let yourself be happy. You have to realize who you are. I'm a part and parcel. of the Supreme. I'm part and parcel of Krishna. I'm 24 karat,
Yes.
you know? I can remember one time feeling like the world was falling in on me. I was having some problems in business. And so I was off traveling. I was getting on a plane leaving, I think it was Denver, you know, having a rough time. And as I was the last one, I showed up late and I was the last one to get on the plane. And as I went through the door of the plane, I turned around and I looked at Denver and I said, I'm 24 karat. You know, you're not going to make me feel bad because I'm part and parcel of God. You have the upper hand right now, but that won't last forever. I'm 24 karat. I'm okay. I'm not the greatest. I'm okay. And meaning that I don't have anything to worry about. I have nothing. I'm eternal. Krishna tells me in Bhagavad Gita, Shuridam Sarvabhutanam, I am your dearmost friend and ever well-wisher. Oh. If that's true, and I believe it is, after the last 50 years, he's proven that to me again and again. But if that's true, I have a really cool friend. You know? I mean, he's all powerful. He can help me with anything, and he will. I don't have to beg him, please help. But he's always been there to help. Even when I'm thinking I'm doing it for myself, thinking I want to take credit. You know, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that I am the ability in man and women. You have ability? That's Krishna. You can play the flute very nicely, or you can play the drum, or you can do some business, or you can learn and teach. That's Krishna. That ability is Krishna. You see? And I'm part of that. He will give me whatever ability that I need to perform my service for him. Oh, but wait, I don't want to perform service. I want to perform service for me. All right. So now you're going to stay in ignorance. You're going to continue to maintain material consciousness. You're just going to struggle. You're just going to suffer. And you're never going to be sure about the time of death. But the only thing is that we can be sure of, for most people, is that it's going to happen. Everything dies in this material world. It's going to happen. But what does that actually mean? To someone who knows they're part and parcel of the Supreme, what does that mean? It means I'm going to leave this body. The driver of the body, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go somewhere else. And if I'm surrendered to Krishna, I'm going to go wherever he wants me to go. Does he want me to come home and be with him? Maybe. Does he want me to stay here and do what I'm doing? Maybe. It's whatever he wants. Surrender is a dirty word. We don't like that word. But surrender, when you mix in love, surrender is what lovers do.
There's E in it, but it's Krishna vegan.
So if you put love in the recipe, surrender becomes very sweet. Lovers surrender to each other.
I'm translating your argument. Who cares about happiness? Who has time to think about happiness? I just want to feel safe. But it's the same thing. The material world can't give you safe. Right? So I'm just translating search for happiness.
It's the same. What did you just say? I couldn't hear.
Like finding happiness is the same as seeking safety. Right.
Good analogy.
So how do you find the love to mix with the surrender?
If I am my body, I'll never be safe. Anything could happen. I could catch some airborne thing that may kill me. Well, wait a minute. We've been there and done that, haven't we? So if I am this body, I'm not safe. It's perishable, and it will perish. If I'm not this body, I don't have anything to fear. If I'm this eternal soul that Krishna says that I am, I don't have anything to fear. If I am this body, I'm in a world of people who have a tendency to cheat and make mistakes and all the other frailties that we have by being in this material world. I'm never going to taste love. And I know what it is because that's where I come from. I know what it is, but you can't tell me if you really study the nature of this world that love actually exists here on the material platform. You get a taste, a little taste. It's like being in the desert and maybe you get a drop of water that you can catch on your tongue. And it lasts. Then as soon as you get it, it goes away and you want another. This chase for love,
So how do you
it
find
drives
it
us.
to mix it in with the surrender?
First of all, we've got to identify what is it.
Yeah.
So what are they, what is it? Describe this love to me that you're looking for. First of all, I don't want you to give it to me and yank it away. I don't want, it's like winning the lottery. If I win $1 billion or $500 million, I want to keep it forever. I don't want them to come back a week later and say, okay, time's up, we're taking the money back.
So you need trust.
I need trust. So in other words, I've got to get out of the spirit of the material consciousness and start to realize, let me start dealing with the source of love. Where does this all come from? What is it? So the source of love, it's not like the sun. I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to have a relationship with the sun, because it keeps making me upset. Sometimes, did you ever feel that the sunlight on your face was really nice? You ever feel that? Did you ever feel like the sunlight on your face was really terrible? Did you ever feel like a cool breeze was really wonderful? Did you ever feel like a cool breeze was terrible? So, you see how the sun's the same every day. You see? But I perceive it differently. So I've got to get to something that's stationary. So Krishna is stationary. He's unchangeable, but he's ever expanding. But if I can learn about him, he'll teach me, he'll reteach me what love is and how to identify it. What is love? And I'm not talking about cheap love. I'm talking about something I've always had. It's impossible for me to escape Krishna's love. It's only possible for me to convince myself that I've escaped it. But to do that, I need the help of illusion. I need to start to identify with this material world. I need the help of the illusion of Maya to help me forget the real source of
There's
love.
so many subconscious beliefs that you have, like you are your body, that you have to, they just untangle themselves over time?
You have to realize who you are, who is Krishna, and what is our relationship. It's like once I identify personally with the source of love, then we can have a relationship personally. If I don't, it's just like I was saying, the sun. I can't be personal with the sun. I don't know what it wants. It's just there. I mean, sometimes I'm glad it's there, and sometimes it's a real pain. You try and take a nap in the daytime, and the stupid sun's out there, keeping you from. You see what I mean? You need, It's like sometimes I walk. I go for a walk, and in the summertime, this trail that I walk, there's a tree that hangs over the path. And as I'm walking, when it's 100 degrees outside, I see that, there's the shade on the path. this is great. I'm looking forward to that. I get up there and I'll even linger a little bit and chant a little bit while I'm in the shade. Because if I go on, it's going to be back in the sun. Then a few months later, I'm out there walking on the same path, but it's winter. And now I don't want to get in the shade because it's warm out here in the sun. And I walk out under the shade of that tree. Now I'm going to feel real cold. Everything is the same. The sun is the same. The tree is the same. The shade is the same. It's just my perception of what's going on. Yeah, because I can't have that. I can't have a personal relationship with anything that's around me. You see what I mean? I need a personal relationship. I am a person. Who was it? Was it? I can't remember the guy's name. Anyway, I think, therefore I am. Was that Descartes? Yeah. So I believe that. I exist. Why? Because I'm the guy saying I exist. Something that doesn't exist can't tell you that it exists. I know.
AI.
I know that, and I know that I'm a person. I'm not the only one. You're a person. We're all persons. Why isn't the Supreme a person? You know, what is he like, the sun? Like, I can think and crack jokes and be happy and laugh, flatter, dance, say something complimentary to someone that I care. The sun can't do that. It's just there. Now, there is a personality in the sun, so that's not a perfect. Everything has a personality. Everything. The moon has a personality. The Bhumi, the planet Earth, has a personality. You know, God, the source of all these personalities, has personality. Otherwise, personality wouldn't exist. Unless we believe that aliens came here and gave us personality, but yet the Supreme doesn't have it. You know, this is silly when we think we've been cheated. We're still in Stockholm. We believe. We believe what our captors have told us. We believe it. We've swallowed the hook. You know, like a fish, they say, swallows the hook. And we are completely convinced. We even have doubts that there is a God. What to speak of that God, if there is a God, having a personality. Many religions that you wouldn't believe actually do see the person, the Supreme Godhead, as being just energy. Not just one, it's not just the Mayavadis, you know, the impersonalists. Most of them are. And they don't even know it. Because you're a person. I can agree you're a person, and you're a person, and Jesus is a person, and well, no, God is like just energy. How do you make that? What is the bridge that makes you think that? All these personalities, but the Supreme. No, that's just the all-pervading. That's why people talk about the universe. You can put it out to the universe. See what the universe wants. Well, I'm trying to be as kind as I can, but that's just plain childish. It's
It's so
silly.
hard to think of somebody who's so loving. Then they would not be murderous.
They would
God
not
has
be.
to be murderous. They wouldn't be a murderous, enraged murderer type.
Yeah.
But if God is everything, then he has to be an enraged murderer.
Oh.
No?
Who has he ever murdered?
Oh, I'm just saying, if
No,
you
I mean,
have
no.
personality, then it's part of a whole. So where's the remainder live? Like who's got the other traits that Krishna doesn't have?
Oh, he has all traits.
So the murderous trait?
That's
No.
the problem of evil. I think they call that theodicy. So there's the light, which is God, and the absence of that light is where that negative traits.
That's Albert Einstein. Yeah, they tried to get Einstein in a corner because a lot of the scientists were atheistic. And Einstein was a theist. And so they said, this God that you talk about is the source of everything? Yes. So there is evil in the world, so that means God must be evil. And so Einstein was kind of a smart guy, and he said, there's no such thing as evil. There's no such thing as darkness. There's only the absence of light. There's no such thing as cold. There's only the absence of heat. You don't measure cold, you measure heat. You don't measure darkness, you measure light or the lack of. So he went on and named a few other things, and he said, evil is when you are away from God in your consciousness. If God is my dear friend, well, that makes me think and behave differently. If I'm away from him, I'm writing my own rules, because keep in mind, if I'm here, I have a tendency to cheat. I have a tendency to make mistakes. My senses are imperfect. I have all these flaws, you see.
Isn't it true there's no Sanskrit word for evil?
I think that's true. I believe that is true. God is not evil. Now, somebody could say, but he promoted the Battle of Kurukshetra. How many people were killed in this war of Kurukshetra 5,000 years ago? 640 million people. Krishna wanted them to be killed because we're turning into Kali Yuga, this age. Things are going to get really bad, as we see. Cheating and everything gets worse in Kali Yuga. The demoniac people were in charge of the planet at that time. And for our benefit, to make it better, these people had to be eliminated. But did he kill them? Or did he just make them leave those bodies so that their evil deeds would cease? Now, they're all going to go on to other bodies. As a matter of fact, most of them achieved really good next lives. Really, really good. It wasn't like they went to hell or anything, So it's not murder, because none of us can die. We can't cease to exist. You see?
On that note of surrender, for me, on this whole topic, really, like, I noticed that the worst times, the absolute worst times in my life, were all because I was arrogant. I knew what I needed to do. I knew who I needed to praise, who I needed to have a relationship with, and I chose to try to stick it out and do it myself until I was 25, until I was on my knees and humbled to the very earth, and was forced to look up in my arrogance and accept the path that he was trying to show. And the moment I fully, truly, genuinely surrendered to him and made my vows to him and accepted the path that he's been trying to show me for so long in my life, in my dreams, throughout my day-to-day, through other people, once I finally truly surrendered to that energy, to Krishna, I haven't had the need or want for anything. I haven't had a sense of fear. I haven't had a sense of unhappiness. I haven't had a sense of just really any real true negativity anymore.
These are things that we notice. You talk to people that have been devotees for a long time. One of the things that we don't know when it left, but there are certain things that just leave you. Fear is one of them. It's like I've told people many times, I've been a vegetarian for 53 years. So I know what it is. I know what meat is. I don't remember what it tastes like. So I know what fear is. I don't know what it tastes like. It's been a long time. Loneliness. I know what it is. I can give you the definition. I don't know what it feels like to be lonely, personally. Now, I have been lonely, but it's been so many decades. I don't remember. I don't know.
When I was in the material world and trying to control it myself, in all of my relationships, trying to control them as well, and try to be like the master of the relationship, so to speak. And it ended up being a situation where I would put myself and that other individual into a very terrible position in our lives. And I realized, like, just the same thing. When I want to surrender to God, He gave me the person He's always wanted for me to have. Put her right here next to me.
And surrender, let's take away the awe and reverence. Because of the awe and reverence we feel towards God, and most of us were taught that when we were children. You know, you better watch out.
Yes.
You do the wrong thing, you're going to go,
You're gonna go,
know? You do the right thing, you'll go, and you could go that. So it's awe and reverence. If you take away awe and reverence, if you can see the Supreme as your dearmost friend, and you surrender, why does He want you to surrender to Him? What's He afraid of? Because He's God. I mean, He's got the biggest army in the world. Why does He want you to surrender?
Is it because He gave us the choice of free will and He knows that we can choose
No.
arrogance as well
No.
as
Because He wants to surrender to you. That's what lovers do.
wow.
I surrender, my dear Lord. I surrender to you. Ah, but I want to serve you. But I want to serve you, my Lord.
Yeah,
But I
that's
want
why
to
everything
say,
is-
but how can I have you serve me, my dear God? And He's going to say, who do you think has been serving you for eternity?
So much sense.
Who do you think has been giving you all this? When you take a breath,
Yeah.
where does it come from? Bhagavad Gita says, Krishna says, I am the taste of water. When you taste water, you should think, Krishna. He says, I want you to remember me always. Always think of me. Not in awe and reverence, but by sweetness. My dear friend, you ever have a really close friend that you're away from for a while and you just long to be with them? Yeah. See, this is real life. Your experience. Well, this is Krishna. He wants you to feel that way about Him again, like you did. We broke the relationship off and we decided to come and go and be all we can be in the material world. And that's okay. It doesn't mean you're bad. It just means you wanted to go on a journey, on an adventure. And it ain't working out as well as we thought it would. You know.
I would say that you mentioned the I'm 24 karat. I was thinking back to my very first day I met you in 2020, January 2020. You were giving Sunday feast class, and you said that analogy, and I remember I was so like ecstatic. You said, "Everybody say it," and I was like, "I'm 24 karat. I'm 24 karat."
Yeah, I often tell people, I'll get the audience to say it. I'm 24 karat. Say it. And say it like this. I'm 24 karat, damn it.
And I remember I was so like, I was so giddy. I was like, that message, man, that was like the first time you heard from your spiritual master, you know, it goes so deep. So that always sticks with me. I'm 24 karat.
You don't have to impress anybody. You just have to be yourself. Be that beautiful self that Krishna sees when He looks at you. When yeah.
Thank you for a nice talk. I just going to share a quick 2 cents about what we were just talking about, and then I had a question. I was thinking most things are the opposite I've learned in Krishna consciousness. And instead of, like the question was raised about people dying, and I was thinking, well, it's actually a system that's set in place, like you were talking about, right? And it's meant to give us infinite chances to get back to Krishna instead of Krishna just zapping us out of existence, as Dhiro says. So it's actually the opposite, like Krishna coming as time and making everything secular, and us going away and coming back is actually about just giving us as many chances as we need, you know, instead of
Or as many as you want. We can stay in this world for billions, trillions of years. And even if we stay here until the annihilation, we will go into Krishna. He will inhale all of the living entities, destroy everything that's out here, recreate the whole thing nice and pristine, exhale, and you come back out. You don't like the polluted world? Stay here long enough, it'll all be cleaned up. It's gonna be so pristine. And then the living entities will degrade it again.
And then,
But we're gonna be, you can stay here, creation after creation. There's no, we don't have like, it's like this apartment that I own in Mayapur in West Bengal. I'm not because I'm not a citizen, I cannot own property. But I own a 99-year lease. It's paid up, so that's like owning the property, you know? So, so you have longer than a 99-year lease if you want to stay in this material world. You've got a 99 billion creation lease. You can stay as long as you want, rent-free.
yes, so it's like anything we thought was bad, we're just thinking through material vision. So we have spiritual vision that we realize truly everything is
What's
all
really
in connection with Krishna.
what we really perceive as bad has a tendency to change. You know, it's not bad to get old. It's not bad to die. It's not bad to leave this body. I'm not in a hurry to do it because I want to do my service. I'm willing to go and I'm ready to go. Whatever Krishna says. All right, it's time for you.
Well, it's bad
Check
to
out.
not trust Krishna.
Huh?
It's bad to not trust Krishna.
It's only bad for you.
Well, I noticed.
You know? Or I mean, it's only bad for us. It's not bad for him. He may think, there you are, you're still not trusting me. You don't even fully believe that I exist. And that's okay. You'll come around. He knows that you will come back. No matter where you end up in this material world, you're going to go home. I mean, it may seem like billions and trillions of years that you're here, and it is, but that's not even a nanosecond in eternity. You see? So take your time. When you feel like it's time for me to cash in, it's like all of us, once you've chanted the holy name one time, you've got the winning lottery ticket. You've got it. But if you got the winning lottery ticket, do they still give out tickets in the lottery? Do you actually get a little piece of paper, or is it all digital? So you get a piece of paper and you look and wow, I won $1 billion. How do I actually get the $1 billion? I have to cash in the ticket, right? So you've got it all. You've said the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. You've taken prasadam. You've heard. You've chanted. You've won the lottery. When are you going to cash in your ticket? You got the knowledge. Krishna's given you everything. You can leave.
Trap.
But what kind of trap is this? You know, I remember thinking like that. This sounds like too good to be true. And I remember what Grandma said about that. You know.
And then, thank you. And then my question, if I may, so you mentioned, thinking of ourselves as the lowest in a healthy way, service attitude, humble, kind, like that. And this is a question I've asked you before. I feel like it's a lifelong learning. How do we still be confident, have confidence, and even want to act at all, while also speaking of ourselves as the lowest in a healthy way?
Yeah, Lord Chaitanya said that we should consider ourselves lower than the straw in the street. What does that mean? And you got to go back. He said this 500 years ago. If you've ever been to India, you can imagine, what are the streets like? You have, in Mayapur, you have buses and cars and bicycles, all kinds of traffic on the road. You also have herds of water buffalo and goats and cows. And these animals, as they walk down the street, they relieve themselves, if you know what I mean. And so sometimes there's somebody will go and throw straw on the excrement in the street. It controls the smell, and someday we'll wipe it up. But for now, let's just throw straw on it. Lord Chaitanya says you should think of yourself lower than the straw. What's under the straw? So I have to think of myself. Why do I think of myself that way? Because I'm the guy that walked out on Krishna. I walked out. Talk about infidelity. I am the part, he gave me everything. I'm his part and parcel for eternity. It's like you've heard people say, I gave you the best years of my life and you're leaving me. Well, he gave us an eternity of everything. And we decided, I'm checking out. I'm leaving you. We are capable of that. We're capable of walking out on the source of love. Now, that doesn't mean that we should think, oh, I want to go jump off a building or something. Consciousness was really messed up. You need to get your real consciousness back so that you're not capable of that. And we come to this material world, we get these knocks and bruises, and we get beat up, and so we can get to the point where we think, my dear Lord, I think I want to come home. I think I know who you are, and I think I know who I am. And I want to come home. You see? And I'm asking you this, knowing that I'm the lowest, I'm lower than the straw on the street. And I know I walked out on you. You didn't give me a reason. I did it because I'm a spoiled brat. Yeah, I'm a rich kid. It's like rich kids, sometimes they do. But we're like the rich kids. We're the part and parcels. Krishna's all wealthy. We're all wealthy too. We've got all this. But we decided we're just going to walk out. I'm going to go do it on my own. Whatever you did, Krishna, I think I can do it too. Maybe even better. Therefore, lower than the straw in the street. All right, we better wrap it up because.
So we're like 24 karat, but with a humble attitude.
Yeah, first of all, let's think of ourselves as 14 karat. And then we'll work up to 18 and, Yes?
I would say for confidence,